Last night? 3 o'clock. Didn't get into bed till 5. Got up today about 11. And I don't really know where I am. Ken, I think I woke up on the ceiling.
Hey music video fans, today we have a very special episode. It's special because the music video we're going to be talking about is one that my friend Kevin here talks about all the time. It comes up once a week at least.
Once a week.
Well, a lot of the time. I think we really need to get this out of your system with this.
Once we decided we were going to do a show about music videos, before we had even titled it the Vidnight Society, I just knew the first day of shooting I have to get Dancing on the Ceiling out of my system. Every year or so, you, Ryan, and I will be hanging out and we'll just have the TV on YouTube and I'll bring this music video on, and it's not an ironic appreciation I have for it. I like this music video.
It's both.
It's both. Okay. Lionel Richie, formerly from the Commodores, had this album in the middle of 1986 called Dancing on the Ceiling. In the titular track, Lionel Richie describes meeting up with a bunch of friends and literally dancing on the ceiling. It is not a metaphor for anything. He's talking about how people are climbing up the walls and how everyone's having a ball. Lionel has apparently just wrapped up a concert with his best friends and bandmates.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it.
And they're just on a high. And Lionel's still kind of like dancing and they're walking into their hotel. Even the words dancing and ceiling become funny when talking about this video.
This video has two things going for it.
Two things going. They walk into the hotel and they walk up to Lionel's room and it's like a surprise birthday party or some shit where Lionel walks in and all of Lionel's friends are there.
Yeah. And none of them are wearing any colors at all except for Lionel Richie.
Lionel is just on fire about this. He's like, oh, my friends are here. And he's just...
And then they all start dancing in sync. They've practiced.
Yeah, they have really good dance moves. It's lit like a motherfucker.
This movie's got, this movie, this...
It's a movie.
Yeah. This short film has a really good look to it.
This video was directed by Stanley Bonin.
Donen.
I'm butchering the name, but this director worked
Steven?
on some of the best films ever made.
Dancing on the Ceiling.
Singing in the Rain. What was it called? Royal Wedding?
Royal Wedding is where this comes from.
Which is where this comes from. Royal Wedding is a Fred Astaire movie from 1951, I want to say. And it's where the technique of marrying the camera to a set that is on a gimbal that can rotate came from. You'd see it again in Cronenberg's The Fly and Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
The cultural reference point that's most relevant here, I think, is 2 years before this video came out, there was Nightmare on Elm Street where they use it for horror.
Yes.
It's really cool.
Yes.
And Break Into Electric Boogaloo, where I believe his name is Turbo, dances on the ceiling.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what inspired this.
Beat Lionel Richie to the punch. Lionel really wanted that Michael Jackson caliber video, right?
Yeah.
This song had to have been written for the video. Like, we can make a music video out of this song. It's a long song. It's like 5 minutes and change. I think the 12-inch cut is like 9 minutes of Lionel Richie detailing what it's like to dance on a ceiling.
Yep.
So in the video, spoilers, Lionel dances with a friend or two for like 10 seconds. He's like, I've had enough of that. And he just walks over and he dances up the ceiling. Lionel apparently had 4 days to practice, and Fred Astaire had like 6 weeks or something to get used to this platform. And Lionel, I guess, is not a comfortable dancer.
Yeah.
But the choreographer, Michael, you hear Michael referenced at the beginning of the video. I thought it was a reference to Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, they say like, hey, I wonder if Michael's here or something like that.
But Michael's
yeah.
apparently a reference to the choreographer who worked his ass off because Lionel Richie is a self-admitted bad dancer and had to not only dance, but dance like not only upside down or perpendicular to the ground, but bridge it as he was moving around.
Yeah.
It's a very tough music video to make, which is why it's so big and loud and long. I could keep talking. Break me up here for a minute. Like, what are your thoughts on this video? I clearly love it.
Oh, it's magnificent. It's a gem. We're not even getting to like
the good shit.
The good shit, I think, where it kind of breaks towards the end, and they're like, why don't we just kind of make this a Weird Al video? Why don't we throw some gags in there? Someone's dress is getting blown up by the ceiling fan, like Marilyn Monroe.
People are popping champagne bottles or wine, and
Yeah.
the wine's like going somehow upside down. It's really cool, inexplicable visuals, probably inspired by Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Where people like literally get pulled from one floor to the ceiling.
Yeah, they do stuff where people are on the floor and the ceiling at the same time
cool
with rear
looking.
projection or something.
There's some good chroma key work.
Yeah.
They did video chroma key, and it actually looks pretty good for 1986, 87. Like, it looks really good. Now, the reason this video, I think, is genuinely funny is the video like gets to like the 3.5 minute mark, and it's still going.
Still like 100 people dancing on the
Their
ceiling.
asses off. Like,
Yeah.
and it's just, it's not getting tired of itself in the least. It's not changing the key yet.
Yeah.
And it cuts to a neighbor of Lionel Richie's.
I assume one floor up, right?
It must be a floor up.
Yeah.
And it's Cheech Marin, and he's on a hot date drinking wine with his girlfriend. And he's like, what's all this damn noise? He's like, hold on, baby, I'll be right back. Cheech Marin leaves, walks in, and he's about to like give Lionel Richie a piece of his mind. And he walks in and he just sees this freak show of people dancing on the ceiling. There's like lights coming out of the floor.
Gets the fuck out of there.
And he's just like frightened, and like they address like, no, this is kind of intense. This is kind of like, what would you do?
I know. Well, what I like about that joke where he's at the dinner table is it reminds me a lot of Monty Python and the Holy Grail while they're singing the Camelot song.
Oh, no.
And it just cuts to
it's totally that.
Yeah.
It's totally that. And like it flips the script because the opening of the video, it's like really hammy and childish in a way when Lionel's like, hey, everyone's here. We're gonna dance on the ceiling. Like, it's so wacky that when you finally cut back to reality in a real person, as close as Cheech Marin can be to a real person, and he's like, why is this so loud below me? What's going on? Like,
sounds like they're dancing on the ceiling now.
It's supposed to be loud above me, not below me. And he walks in like he's frightened. Like,
But that's not even
the best part.
That's not even the biggest celebrity cameo.
The video keeps going, and like another minute and a half of dancing jokes and puns and effect shots later, the song just kind of ends. It just kind of fades out. And then, of all people, who should walk in?
A janitor played by Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney fucking Dangerfield.
Apparently in their script, in their notes, they wrote, we need a Rodney Dangerfield type. And they got the right guy. Rodney Dangerfield was around, and he walks in and he's like, hey, what's going on here?
And then Lionel Richie is up on the ceiling. At this point, it looks like they're done dancing.
They're just hanging out.
They all got high, and they're just like, just chilling out on the ceiling. And he's like sitting cross-legged. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Had to show what cross-legged looked like.
Yeah, illustrate for the folks at home.
And he just goes, come up, right?
Come on up.
Oh yeah, come on up. Yeah, it's very spooky.
It's very spooky.
Hey, what's happening here?
Come on up.
Oh, I shouldn't have eaten that upside down cake.
Whoa, I shouldn't have eaten that upside down cake. And then he starts to leave and he's still frightened. And he goes like, hey, Louie, come here. But yeah, it's like the perfect lantern to hang on this video. Like, oh yeah, and Rodney Dangerfield tells a joke that's about being upside down. It's like the one joke you could come up with.
Do you think that was his first joke, or do you think he had other material that he tried?
They probably wrote him that joke and he had to say it to get paid.
Yeah.
And then he could improv whatever else he wanted.
Yeah.
I really like this video. It's made very well. It's goofy as fuck, and it's in love with the fact it's goofy. I shouldn't say goofy as fuck, it's too harsh.
It's goofy.
I know, I should say it's goofy, but not fuck. It's just a bit unnecessary.
I think it's goofy as fuck. That's safe.
Okay, it's safe for this video.
It's goofy as all fuck.
It's a really goofy fucking video, but it's on fire. Lionel Richie does this one move like 5 times in the video. Like, I think he thought it was gonna be like the move. Mm-hmm. Like, and he just like kind of puts his hand up and then does one of these. Because like, everyone was trying to beat Michael Jackson at the time. It's like, well, he can moonwalk, I can do one better. I'll do it upside down using this incredibly expensive special effect. And then Smooth Criminal came out and with like one wire shot.
That's not a wire. Do you know how they did that in Smooth Criminal?
No.
Michael Jackson actually has a patent on a special hook in it that's in your shoe that you lock into like a little hole in the ground, and then you can do that lean. You need strong legs, but you can do it without any wires or anything, and that's how they do that effect.
Cost probably nowhere near as much money
Exactly.
as rotating a building upside down.
And it looks cooler.
It looks cooler. We've talked before about how much Thriller inspired this video.
Yeah.
It's the template. Look at the cover art. It's the same pose as Michael Jackson on Thriller, right? And it's also like the opening having like the sound effect of a door opening and someone walking down a hall, a lot like
yeah,
Thriller.
It's like Thriller if you don't want to leave your hotel room.
What else is there to say about Dancing on the Ceiling? I was worried I would go for like 40 minutes.
Oh yeah. Well, all right. Here's my question for you. Would you get in that contraption? If you showed up to the set and they're like, "Hey, we're doing some camera tests. Do you want footage of you dancing on the ceiling?"
Yeah.
You'd do it?
Why the fuck wouldn't they want to dance on the ceiling?
I don't know. Yeah, I'd be a little afraid to get in that thing, I think.
You gotta watch this behind the scenes video.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. Every time they're behind the scenes and there's like a candid interview with like the director or Lionel or Michael, the choreographer, they'll be talking and you can tell they just don't want to say the word ceiling or dancing anymore. There's always like, when, and then like a minute into the video, I'll be, I'll be dancing on the ceiling. it takes it.
I'll be moving rhythmically on the upper part of the room.
I'll be doing my thing on the roof.
Boogieing in the rafters.
It's just, the song is so basic and it's such
The video is honestly pretty basic too, but it's
well made basic.
Yeah.
It's
like you go to see a magician. You go to see David Copperfield and he does a great magic trick and then he just keeps doing it over and over for like 2 hours.
Like how cool this
Yeah,
looks.
yeah.
But it does escalate. They do some more impressive effects. And I love the floor lighting when all the lights like flare up. That was really cool looking.
Track lighting. Yeah.
Yeah. And good on Lionel for being a goof. Even in the behind the scenes footage, he kind of cops to the fact. Like, this is a silly video. It's fun to act silly. You have to kind of laugh at yourself. Like, he knows this isn't an important song.
Yeah.
It's like, this will make
It's like, no one will be talking about this in 35 years.
It's a good ending.
Yeah.